Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Examiner Mindset and Elimination Techniques class 2025. I am Vikas and I'll be taking this class. So first, let us talk about our toppers who have utilized this course. Not only this course, yes, they were part of prelims and mains mentorship as well. So these were the students are from the last year batch. Okay, so they have scored 64 ranks, 79 and various other ranks. Okay, so this course also they have been part of, and definitely yes, it will be very helpful for you, especially in prelims. I think many students already have attended last year, I think also, and you know already what is the importance of this course. And now let us see like what exactly this course will have this year. Okay, so this year according to the new pattern and all. So any other new understandings you require, okay, all those things I'll be discussing in the class. So let's begin the class. So especially for elimination techniques and examiner mindset, this quote is an apt quote. Like strategy is born when a calculated risk meets an educated guess. So the practical aspect of the exam is there is nowhere, there is no possibility for you to know all the questions in the exam. So I think you have that knowledge. Like if you are giving prelims, you should know this, that it is very difficult to guess, or it's very difficult to know the content of all the 100 questions of the UPSC exam. So what is required? Once it is clear that we will not be able to know the content of all the 100 questions, then what is required? So do we require a strategy? Let us say for 2025 as well. So you will see some new questions, some new patterns, something new. Definitely you may see in 2025 as well as you have seen in 2024 as well. So what I say is definitely you require a strategy, and that strategy is born when calculated risks meet an educated guess. So today I'll be discussing more about this educated guess. So examiner mindset and this elimination techniques are basically nothing but an educated guess. So how I have divided the class is, so how this educated guess can be divided into two things. Okay. So one is basically logical mindset. Okay. I'll teach you what is this logical mindset. And then there is again something called observation mindset. Okay. I'll be teaching you observation mindset also. So based on these two things, you can make an educated guess in the exam. So what is this logical mindset and what is this observation mindset? Today, okay, not everything. So this is a demo class, right? So we'll at least see few of the things which are important for you. So to understand what exactly this course is. So before that, basically, always you need to identify the problem. Without identifying the problem, if you go for solution, it is waste. Okay. So first you need to identify what is the problem with the prelims. So for example, when I spoke to many students and according to you as well, can you tell me what are the problems with the prelims question paper? Like what problems you are facing in the prelims question paper? Pair questions. Okay, fine. New pair questions we are seeing. Very good. New pattern of questions like statement 1, statement 2. New pattern of questions. Long statements, lengthy questions. And above all this, there are two very important factors which are being, which is a major issue in the exam. 50-50 elimination. 50-50 elimination. Remember. Okay. This is one of the major issue because at the end, in the last 1 hour, or let us say in last half an hour, can I say more or less you will have at least 20 questions with 50-50 options? Minimum. Can I say? Minimum there will be 20 to 25 questions with 50-50 options. This is exactly you need to address in the exam. Yes, the rest of the things are fine. Pair questions, new patterns, everything is fine. But the major problem, what when I discussed with the students and all, is this 50-50 issue. If you can address this 50-50 issue, maybe there are chances that you can definitely improve your marks in the exam. So this entire techniques class, this 5 days classes, okay, coming from Wednesday, 5 days classes will be there. All these classes will basically to help you to address this, mainly this 50-50 issue. Rest, yes, how to analyze, how to manage your time. Okay, that also I'll be discussing in the last class. Okay, but before that, anything else, this is what you need to address in the exam. So all the patterns of the question, any new pattern of question as well, the major issue with the students is 50-50. So now how this examiner mindset will help you to address that major problem of that 50-50. So what is the idea behind this examiner mindset is, see, first of all, reality check. This already I discussed. The reality check is not more than 30 questions you will know in the exam. Okay. This is the truth. Okay. First of all, you need to accept the truth. You cannot say that I will read 100 books, I will read 200 books, I will achieve, I will know 70 questions, 80 questions in the exam. That is not possible in the exam at all. Okay. UPSC will definitely come with some new questions every year. Okay, so someone saying that we guessed 80 questions, we guessed 90 questions, that's not possible. See, somewhere something will be written, they can claim that. But remember, as a student, I am saying, as a student, from student perspective, it is very difficult for you to, you are not an AA. Okay, so maybe AA can learn a lot of things, but you are not an AA. It's very difficult for you to know every content of the question. So, more or less, with the experience of different students, mostly you can attempt only 30 questions or maybe 35 questions, not more than that. 65, you have to have some educated guess. So how this examiner mindset meets that educated guess, let us see. Okay. So prelims is a selection exam or an elimination exam? What do you think? Prelims is a selection exam or an elimination exam? See, there is prelims, there is mains, there is interview, right? What do you consider this exam as? Definitely it is a elimination exam. Remember, it is not as such a selection exam. So when this is an elimination exam, more or less the entire mindset will be in creating your questions, more or less the entire mindset will be elimination mindset. That is the reason this course could be important for you, because in this you will basically learn that examiner mindset of elimination. Okay, so why they create words, how they create the statements, what words they use, all those things you will be taught in the class. So every question is prepared in the exam basically with a mindset to eliminate the candidates, basically to eliminate the candidates. And how many questions in the prelims have all as answer? Tell me, generally how many questions apart from science and tech? Apart from science and tech, how many questions will have all as answer? Very, very, very few. Very, very, very few will have answer as all in the questions. Okay. Remove science and tech. Apart from science and tech, I think only 3 or 4 or 5 questions will be there, not more than that. Okay. So why do you think all is not an answer? Again, the idea is basically to eliminate the students. Definitely the examiner is going to try to trick some things in the exam, and your basic work is to identify those tricks what have been applied by the examiner to change the statements. Okay, so most of the questions are prepared with elimination mindset. So this is the first understanding you have to have. Now coming to what is this examiner mindset? Again, see, examiner mindset is not as such very complex. Okay, it is basically simple changes made in statements to change the nature of the statement. I'll teach you what are these simple changes and all. So our purpose is to understand these changes, and question paper can have new content, it can have difficult questions, but the pattern of the examiner mindset will remain more or less same. Okay, so the pattern generally does not change. In 2024 also, the pattern as such has not changed. Again, I'll show you all 2024 questions today. Okay, how you can address through examiner. Again, because some students think that every year, like the pattern changes and this mindset does not apply. It is not true. You can ask the toppers who have attended this course, or you can ask the other students also who have attended this course. Okay, they'll tell you like how this mindset, despite the change in the pattern of the paper also, this mindset is definitely going to help you. Okay, so next examiner mindset is based on 2 things. Just now I discussed. One is logical mindset. Okay, and then second is observation mindset. I'll discuss few of the things. I'll not be able to discuss everything today. Okay, rest of the things I'll be discussing in the class. Basic things I'll try to discuss today. What is logical mindset and what is observation mindset? A few examples I'll give you from 2024 question paper itself. Okay. So I'll take 2024 question paper as example itself. Then only I think you will be able to understand more. Okay. Now let us say logical mindset, plain and not plain. This is one of the major mindset you have to know in the exam. And not only UPSC, if you're writing any other exam also, like if you're writing any state exams like TSPSC or APPSC, any exam you're writing, this is one of the logical mindset which you have to know for any exam. I'll say any exam, not only UPSC, any exam. See, certain observations are very unique to UPSC. That's fine, but certain examiner mindsets are very common to most of the exams. So especially I feel this plain and not plain could be possible for any other exams. And yes, some of the students have actually applied for other exams also and were successful. Okay. So what does this plain means? All PSCs. Yes, it is basically for all PSCs exams. So what does plain mean in UPSC prelims and what does not plain means in UPSC prelims? Let us see. For example, can you give me some synonyms of plain? Can you give me some synonyms of plain? Simple, very good. Simple. Simple is one of the synonyms for plain. General, very good. General. Usually, yes, usually it could be right. Commonly, very commonly, that statement could be a very common. And it's not negative, very good. Not negative. Not as such negative. Bookish, or you can say verbatim. Okay, bookish. Unassuming, okay, very good. It can be unassuming also. There would be a flow in the statement. Very good. Very good. There would be a flow in the statement, especially this bookish statements or verbatim statements. Actually, there will be a flow. As such, there will be no break in the statement. Okay. And very simple words will be there. Like, for example, can you give me some simple words used by the examiner, especially in plain statements? Simple words. Okay. Some. Very good. Some is a very simple. Can, not every time. Okay. Can, not every time. Okay. Can, I'll tell you how to handle. So some, reduce. Okay. Bearing. Majorly, very good. Okay. In this way, there are certain basic words which are generally mostly plain. Okay. And for example, I'll call it simple, easy, verbatim, not complex, and no facts in the statements. We'll just, I'll teach you also this one now. You will only create a question. For example, let us say oxybenzone question is going to be asked in 2025. Okay, oxybenzone, let us say, because it's in news as well. Okay, and it is particularly a pollutant related to sunscreens. Okay, so oxybenzone question will be asked. It is widely used in sunscreen formulations, plastics, toys, furniture, okay, and other products to limit UV radiation. For example, you know only sunscreens. Let us say you don't know plastics, toys, or furniture. Still, can I say this statement will be plain? Definitely, this statement could be more or less plain. Why? Simple. First of all, pollution. Again, pollutant being in different aspects. More or less, it could be true because these type of statements could be considered plain, considering the question itself, which is basically pollution. And again, tell me, if a pollution, I'm talking about a pollutant, it is not easily degraded in environment. Will it be plain? If I'm talking about pollutants, are pollutants easily degradable? Are pollutants easily degradable? Definitely, answer is no. Pollutants are not easily degradable. So in this way, simply understanding the question framework, first of all, okay, what is this question? Question is pollution. Based on that, you can decide what are plain or what are not plain based on the connotation of the question. Okay, it's a positive question or it's a negative question. For example, these are pollutants. So according to pollutant, some students, what they do is they see some not, because outside they say not or this negative words and all are wrong. See, in that way, if you decide, you will go wrong in most of your questions. Okay, do not decide in that way. Always understand the connotation of the question. They are talking about pollution, then yes, definitely not easily degradable will become more or less right. So always understand the connotation of the question. It is positive question, it's a negative question. It's a broad question. It's a narrow question. I'll teach you later also. What is this broad and what is this narrow also? I'll be teaching you later. Okay. So for now, we'll just see what are plain statements. Again, here also they have asked you PFAS. This is a 2024 question. Tell me here, is statement 1 plain? They are found widespread drinking water, food and food packaging. See, again, what some students do is they see widespread. Why is widespread there? Again, overthinking on widespread. Do not do that, because already pollution question, pollution will be there in lot of things. Always remember, pollution will be there in lot of things. Here also, it is widely used in sunscreens, plastics. Again, widely could be there. Do not overthink on widely. This is also one mistake. If you do not understand this broad and narrow, students make this mistake in the exam. Okay, so that also I'll be teaching you where you need to think broadly, where you need to think narrowly in the exam. Now coming to PFAS are not easily degradable. Is it plain? Considering pollution? Not easily degradable? Definitely it will be plain. And again here, persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation in animal bodies. Plain? Considering pollution? Definitely it is plain. So simply understanding plain statements with respect to connotation of the question is more important in the exam. Okay, so pollution questions. Yes, can I say plain and not plain always depends upon the connotation of the question? Can I say that? Plain and not plain always depends upon the connotation of the question. So what is this connotation? What is this positive, negative? What is broad, narrow? Those things you will get to know in the classes. Okay. Now let's move to this question. This is also 2024 question. Again, students had a doubt in this question also, but it's a very simple question. Simply, again, think very simply based on examiner mindset. First of all, is it a kind of pollution question? No overthinking required. Is it a kind of pollution question? So can I say statement 1 is plain? Chewing gums are considerable source of environmental pollution? Definitely plain. Can I say many chewing gums contain plastic? Is plastic a negative here? First of all, connotation of the question is positive or negative? The connotation of question is definitely negative. Negative. What is that negative? It is a pollution question. So plastic is negative or positive? Plastic is definitely negative. Go with the connotation of the question. So can I say more or less statement 2 is also relatively plain? Definitely relatively plain. This is exactly what is missing among the students. This exactly happened in the 2024 also. This 50-50 issue was there in this question. Again, some students started thinking, will plastic be there or not in this? Again, do not do that overthinking, not required. Because see, content wise, you are blind in the exam in this type of question. Can I say more or less content wise, you are blind in this exam, in this especially question? More or less, you do not know the content. Better think in this direction. What is the connotation of the question and what are the statements talking about? Are they matching with the connotation of the question or not? If you do that, more or less, you will be able to answer the questions in the exam. So these things also we will see in the classes. Okay. See, I'll not be giving you a lot of examples. This is a demo class. I'll be giving you 1 or 2 examples only in each topic. Okay. So what are the plain keywords and statements? Some plain keywords and statements are there, like some, middle statements, reduce. All these are basically plain. For one of the last year also I gave some exception, and exactly that exception came in the exam as well. That anyways I'll discuss today also. So some is basically a plain keyword. Middle statements. What are these middle statements? You need to understand in the exam, because this if you understand, again, that 50-50 issue, definitely you will be able to solve in the exam. So apart from some keyword, I think it is easy for you. So something starts with some, you should consider it as plain. That anyways, it's very easy to understand. But middle statements are not that easy to understand. Now I'll show you what are middle statements. Only some cyclones develop an eye. Only some cyclones develop an eye. And here if you see, some of those infected with hepatitis B and C virus do not show symptoms. Now what happens, some students, like when you see, you just go by keywords, they try to see, okay, only is there, they'll try to eliminate. Here also, do not is there, they'll try to eliminate. Do not do that in the exam. Just going by this do not or only, that will not work in the exam. You need to understand the statement. For example, always a statement has three things. One, it could be one end of the extreme, other it could be other end of the extreme, or somewhere the statement will be talking about somewhere in the middle. For example, if I say only some cyclones develop an eye, only some cyclones develop an eye. Can I also say some develop, some do not develop? Can I say this? Only some cyclones develop an eye means some develop, some do not develop. These type of statements are called middle statements, which are as such not extreme. They are not extreme. Okay, they are not talking about extreme. They are talking about somewhere in between. Some develop an eye, some do not develop an eye. So these are called middle statements. Same thing with hepatitis B also. See, tell me here, some of those infected with hepatitis B and C do not show symptoms. So can I say some show symptoms and some do not show? So tell me, what is the statement again? What is the statement? Definitely it is a middle statement. Okay. For example, now this is a UPSC question asked in 2020. Tell me which is extreme statement, which is some middle statement in this both. Which is an extreme statement, which is a middle statement. Okay. Why is statement 1 extreme? Jet streams occur only in northern hemisphere. Then what is happening in southern hemisphere? It is saying that in southern hemisphere, it is basically 0. So 0 means, can I say it is end of the spectrum? 0 or 100? They are basically end of the spectrum. So when it talks about 0, definitely it will be a kind of extreme statement. Okay. So it's clearly saying that southern hemisphere has 0 jet streams. So definitely 0 will become a bit extreme. That is the reason you will eliminate this. Whereas only some cyclones develop an eye, simply, yes, only some develop, some do not develop. This becomes a middle statement. Okay. So this is how you need to understand middle statements. Again, I'm giving you only few examples here. In the classes, I will be discussing like in particular day. So every day we'll have some, don't worry about third statement. You will know later. Okay. It's called numerical statement. Okay. Numerical statements are generally wrong. Okay. I'll tell you, not now. Let me discuss according to the like flow. Okay. So one of the statements generally, most of the one of the statements are plain in UPSC, CSC prelims. One of the generally whenever you see one of the is right, except there is one exception for this. That exception also last year also I discussed that. Okay. So here tell me, Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value. One of the leading. Again, can I say it is a middle statement? One of the leading means there will be 4-5 things. Okay, 4-5 countries are there. 4-5 countries are there. Then it could be one of the leading. Okay, so definitely these type of statements are right because they are called middle statements. But sometimes they may not be middle. That also I'll show you. Okay, when they are not middle statements, that we'll see later. But for now, whenever you consider them as middle, mostly they could be right in the exam. For example, here also tell me, Vietnam is one of the fastest growing economies. One of the fastest. Tell me, is it extreme or is it middle? Vietnam has been one of the fastest. So one of the generally, again, simply because it is a middle statement, those middle statements are generally right in the exam. Because apart from Vietnam, there could be other fast growing economies also. It is just saying that Vietnam is one of the. So other 3-4 fast growing economies also could be there. So this is how you understand the keywords. Okay, one of them. But there will be some exceptions. I will discuss this exception later, not now. So till now, I showed you few plain statements. Lot of plain statements will be there in the exam. So in the classes, I will be teaching you basically which statement is plain, which statement is generally not plain. Okay. But to understand plain, you need to understand the concept of not plain also. Okay. If you do not understand not plain, you cannot tell that statement is plain or not plain. So to understand not plain, in fact, the entire exam, your marks are dependent on, in fact, based on this concept called not plain. Because why do you think not plain is more important than plain? Because what is prelims exam? Prelims is a elimination or selection exam. Prelims is a elimination exam. So when in elimination exams, can I say not plain statements will become more important to improve your score? Not plain statements will become more important to improve your score. So there are different type of not plain statements. Few of the things I have noted here. So one is I'm saying factual, other I'm saying complex, facts, twists, negative, restrictive, illogical, opposites, and extremes. There are different type of not plain statements used by the examiner to create questions in the exam. Most of your questions follow this exact not plain pattern. There will be some factual statements, there will be some complex statements, there will be pure fact statements, there will be twists in the statements, there will be negative statements, there will be restrictive statements, there will be illogical statements, there will be opposites, and then there will be extremes. Okay. Now I'll give you few examples of all these statements from 2024 itself. So for example, now let us see how facts can be easily changed and how are alternative facts. Okay, they are called alternative facts. So whenever you see a simple fact and you have to look for, is there any easy alternative for it? For example, this question basically science and tech. Yes, science and tech generally we think it's a very broad question, no issue. But can you find out any simple fact or alternative that can be easily changed? Opposites, we call this opposites. See, opposites are used a lot of times in the exam. Okay, opposites are simple variables they try to give you. Okay, so here they're giving fission, there could be fusion, or there could be anything like any other technology here. So fission, fusion. So whenever these words are given, again, see, content wise, we have no idea. Let us say, see, if content you know, that's fine. But most of the students, 90% of the students did not have content of this question. So when you do not have content of the question, just think in the examiner mindset way, just think in the elimination mindset way. See, plutonium 238 is basically heavy content statement. Okay, do not go into all those this keywords. Okay, you don't have to think much on those keywords. I told you again, examiner mindset is very simple. Try to think in a very simple way. If you overthink, you will only lose marks. I will exactly tell you where to think in the exam. Okay, that is why the classes are important. So in the classes, I will teach you exactly where you need to think or not. Okay, so very plain thinking is required to clear this exam. Remember that. Okay, very plain thinking. Overthinking definitely is not good for this exam. So now tell me, even in plutonium is also there, fission is also there. Tell me which could be more easily changed by the examiner based on your PYQs. Based on your PYQs, which could be easily changed. Again, always remember, PYQ knowledge is definitely compulsory for techniques. If you do not have PYQ knowledge, it's very difficult to apply techniques in the exam. Because why you need PYQ knowledge? Most of your questions, elimination pattern is based on PYQs. Can I say that? Most of your questions, elimination pattern is based on PYQs. So what happens in the PYQs also happens in the present question. That is the reason I am asking you to just focus on very simple facts which can be changed in the exam. So now tell me, if this possibility is there that this could be changed, there is an alternative. So what is the most possible answer of this question? You just have to eliminate one and you can get to the answer. Again, focus on very simple facts. Again, same thing I'll tell you here also. This is also a very difficult question. This is not an easy question in the exam. The giant stars have been given, dwarf stars have been given. First of all, when variable questions are given in the exam, I call it variables. Okay. So some words you need to, like you will know once you join the class. I'll be using certain words called comparison statements. I'll use some words called variables. So variables are nothing but some two variables they try to use. Okay, two variables. So what are the two variables here? What are two variables here? One is giant stars, and what is the other variable? Dwarf stars. Okay, and in the PYQs also, can you give me some variable questions in PYQs? Augmented reality versus virtual reality. Okay, And LED versus what was asked? LED versus sodium lamp was asked. Okay. And do you remember this permaculture versus chemical agriculture? Permaculture agriculture versus chemical agriculture. So all these are called basically variable questions. Generally remember, in variable questions, the answer may not be both 1 and 2, or the answer may not be all, because in variable questions, definitely it is very easy for the examiner to change the statements. You can check in the PYQs. You can check in the PYQs. Most of your variable questions answer will not be all, because it's easy for the examiner to change the characteristics or features of the variables. First thing, fine. Now, anyways, in the exam, you have seen giant stars and this variable called dwarf stars. What are those opposite keywords generally used by the examiner? You have to underline them in the exam. For example, last year also I gave you opposites in the class. So in the last year class, what is the opposite I have given based on PYQs? Longer, shorter. Longer, shorter, I told you, lot of times they try to change in the exam. I'll give you one example. In the last year also, I gave you one example. This question is basically a very difficult question in the exam. Do you agree? If you do not know visible light communication, this question is a very, very, very difficult question, which was asked in 2020. But again, simple thinking is required to address these questions. Very simple thinking. Visible light, for example, if I close the room completely, will the visible light go outside the room? Simple, right? Visible light, you see normal tube light you can on. It's basically LED lamp. All these are visible light. If you just close the room, there is no way the light goes outside. So now tell me, visible light will come under long range or short range? When it even cannot go outside a room, if I close it, will it come under long range or short range? Definitely will come under short range. You just eliminate that one thing, you will get the answer. So that is why I'm saying, see, these complex things they give in the exam just to basically that students should have fear about the question or something like that. Okay, students should think that it's a very complex question and all. But remember, UPSC will definitely try to give you something very simple. They try to change something very simple as well in the exam. And these keywords, last year also I gave you some keywords. These are called opposite keywords. And this year also I'll be giving you opposite keywords. Based on the opposite keywords, tell me here, giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars and have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. Which one will you eliminate more? Which one will you eliminate based on PYQs? Will you eliminate greater or will you eliminate longer? In PYQs, more or less, longer has been changed, lot of times shorter and longer. So simply you eliminate that. So what is the possible answer of this question? Possible answer is statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. So based on PYQs knowledge of the opposites also, a lot of questions can be addressed in the exam. Again, here tell me what are the variables? What are the variables? What are the two variables they are trying to ask in this question? Adenovirus, very good. Adenovirus, and one more thing they are asking is retrovirus. Fine. Can I call it as variable question? Okay. In each statement also they are trying to give you variable, like adenovirus is this and retrovirus is this. Again, here also adenovirus something is caused and retrovirus is caused. So can I say one thing based on, I told you, right? Two mindsets I will be teaching you. One is logical mindset, one is observation mindset. According to observation mindset, can I say more or less the answer will not be both 1 and 2 in this question? Can I say that? Why I am saying that answer will not both 1 and 2? Because according to the observation of PYQs, can the answer of variable questions be all? Can the answer of variable questions be all in the exam? Chances are very, 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 very less. Remember, variable questions, answers will be relatively, answer cannot be relatively all, simply because it is very easy to change. Anyways, Now tell me, in this, which could be relatively plain, which is kind of middle statement, Common cold is sometime caused by an adenovirus. Common cold is sometime. Okay, common cold is sometimes caused by adenovirus. Sometimes. So yes, it can cause sometimes. So can I say it is more or less middle statement? Definitely yes. Now tell me, I am not going with both 1 and 2. I know that 2 is wrong. Then should I go with neither 1 nor 2, or should I go with 1 only? Even if you do not know what is 1. Even if you do not know what is 1, what is the best option in the exam? Basically, better go with 1 only in such type of scenarios. Okay, because here as such, there is nothing extreme given here. Just they are trying to interchange two things. So mostly what happens, sometime is given, mostly if this is positive, okay, if this is positive, this will be negative. Okay, sorry, here I'm going with 2 only. Okay, not with both 1 and 2, or not with neither 1 not 2, because simple reason, variable questions, if in this format they give you and you know that this is a middle statement, mostly this will be wrong in the exam. Simple. Again, this is based on observations. These observations I will be giving you in the class. Lot of observations are there. Why in a particular answer, what answer could be there in that particular questions. Based on just observations also, you can attempt the questions in the exam. Okay, that I'll teach you in the class. Again, few observations also I'll be teaching you today as well. So wait for till the end. Okay, till the end you have to wait, because at the end I have given some observation related statements. Okay, now not plain statements again. So again, some new not plain I want to teach you. So now what we have seen basically this opposite keywords. Okay, now we are going to see something called restrictive statements. So tell me here, which is a restrictive statement? This is also a 2024 question. 2024 UPSC CSC question. Which is a restrictive statement? A syndicated loan can be a fixed amount or lump sum of funds, but cannot be a credit line. Can I say it is restricting? Definitely, it is a kind of restricting. So tell me, what will be the possible answer of this question? The possible answer will be statement 1, statement 2. Fine, this is a bit easy only, no issue. But tell me here, this is also 2024 question, and last year also I taught you how to handle member. Okay. Anyways, in this statement, what will you underline? Is there any negative word? Do you consider which statement as negative? And why do you consider it as negative? Very good. The country needs to be a member of International Grains Council. Needs means basically necessary. Remember, necessary is a negative word in the exam, like mandatory. Mandatory also I will be teaching you later, okay, in the classes. Like mandatorily, necessarily also is a kind of negative word in the exam. Okay, it's not a positive word, it's a negative word in the exam. In the same way, now tell me, just member is given. India is a member of the International Grains Council. India is a member of the International Grains Council. Is it plain or not plain? Remember, last year also I taught you this. Member means just plain. Founding member, instrumental member, member since inception. What are this? Plain or not plain? Founding member, instrumental member, member since inception, all these are basically not plain. Okay, I gave you examples also in the classes. So here, these are certain things which you have to know. And here, India is a member will become basically plain, because it's just a member. And in that way, a lot of things are there, like what to do when observer is given. Okay, what to do when strategic partner is given. Those things also we'll try to see. What is interchange? I did not get you. There is no scope of interchange only, right? Just they are simple statements. India is a member of the Grains Council or not? They are asking you a content. Is it a member or not? I told you member. Member is plain. That is what I'm saying. No? Member is plain. Don't worry about other things. Whenever they give you member, it's plain, simple. You don't have to overthink on that. Okay. Now, coming to this question, which was asked in 2023, I'll tell you that in the classes. Okay, other things I'll teach you in the classes. So anyways, this question again, I was asked in 2023. Recently, United States of America and European Union launched the Trade and Technology Council. Okay, they launched some council. I'll consider it as fact only, no issue. Okay, and then there is the USA and EU claim that through this, they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. Now tell me, is there any negative statement in this? Or any negative keyword is there in this? First of all, do you think statement 2 is plain? Do you think statement 2 is plain? Definitely statement 2 is not plain. For example, let us say if you have doubt in the exam, you just remove this and read. If I remove this, then is the statement plain? USA and EU claim that through this they are trying to bring technology progress and physical productivity. Definitely, if I remove under their control, it is definitely plain. Now, what is happening if I add this keyword? What is happening if I add this keyword? It is becoming from plain to not plain, or you can call it as negative statement. Now tell me which will have more priority for elimination. Negative statements will have more priority, or factual statement will have more priority for elimination in the exam. So in the classes also, we'll be discussing priority, because see, without priority, you will just start eliminating any statement and all. That is again not good in the exam. You have to learn priority always. Which statement first has to be eliminated in the exam. That priority also will be taught in the classes. Okay. No, we cannot exactly say that. See, for example, when Barren Island erupted and all, they'll try to use recently. Okay. Or when, for example, let us say, when transgender bill was introduced, they said recently transgender bill was used. It's the first bill, private member bill. So they'll use that such words. Okay. So directly you cannot say, it depends upon the statement. Okay. Fine. So priority you have to learn. So that priority also I'll be teaching you in the class. So here priority goes to negative statement. So tell me, what is the most possible answer of the question? The most possible answer will be C. Now, I told you why PYQs are important. See this question. This is a 2024 question. Can I say this has same pattern of this question? Now you only tell me exactly where is that negative or extreme statement, and what is exactly that keyword where that extreme or negative is there, and which has more priority of elimination, which is looking like more negative or extreme. Very good. Therefore, it aims to develop all of its own clean technology by that time. This does not seem plain at all. Okay. For example, it aims to develop clean technology. Is it plain statement? I'll remove all of its own and all. Tell me, it aims to develop clean technology. Definitely, it is plain. So in the exam, if you have doubt in 50-50, again, in the exam, same issue 50-50, students should practice doing this. You just remove that and see if it is plain, then fine. If you're adding it, if it is becoming kind of negative, then definitely you can eliminate according to priority. So tell me here, priority goes to negative statement. Don't worry about 2040. 2040 is not that as such important here. Focus on the negative part. If negative is there, you need to focus more on the negative part. Okay. Yes, then most possibly the answer will be statement. So can I say PYQ's understanding is important? This is a 2023 question and this is a 2024 question. They will definitely follow the pattern. Okay. So now you have seen this pattern also. Negative statements you have seen, opposite statements you have seen. Now let us move to the next aspect of the question. Basically extreme. Extremes are very easy to identify. You don't have, if you practice just PYQs, you will understand. Tell me which is extreme statement here. Which is extreme statement here? India, this is also 2024 question. India does not import apples from United States of America. Does not import. In the draw a line. Is it talking about 0 or middle or 100? It is talking about 0. Okay. Not 100 or not middle. Definitely when it is talking about 0, that statement will be very extreme in the exam. And it's simple. What is the most possible answer? Statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. See, these questions are relatively easy in the exam. Okay. So in the class also, I'll be teaching you other pattern of questions where how to identify the reason. Okay. What to write in the reason first. All those things I'll try to explain in the class. Now coming to most important aspect, how to handle all in the exam. Because see, all generally comes under, let us say one is 0, other is all. Okay. But sometimes all is basically right in the exam. So students have confusion in this, how to handle all in the exam. For example, can I say in this question, all is making it extreme? Because if I just say clean technology, there is no issue. But here all is making extreme. So here, whenever all talks about quantity, more or less it will be wrong. Remember that. Okay. When all talks about quality, as such, it will not be wrong. So quantity and quality of the statements also you need to understand. This also, this year I'll be teaching you what is basically quantity and what is basically quality of the statements. So whenever quantity is trying to be tested, mostly that statement could be possibly wrong in the exam. I'll give you examples. I'll give you 2 examples. You will only understand. For example, here recently, all countries of United Nations. Is it quality or quantity? All countries. See, there are a lot of countries. India is also there. US is also there. China is there. Israel is there. So we do not know, like, if all these countries, because there are categories, different categories are there within these countries. Okay. So definitely you should consider it as such a quantity. Now, for example, suddenly in the exam, this all loans to micro, again, students thinking simply all is there. They try to go and eliminate the statements. Do not do that. Simply again, tell me here, all bank loans. And even if I remove all also, I will just say bank loans to MSMEs are under priority sector. All bank loans to MSMEs are under priority sector. Tell me again, is it actually talking about quantity or just talking about the quality of the things like MSME or bank loans? It is just talking about the quality aspect of the question. It is not definitely talking about quantity as such. So all is very simple to understand in the exam. If it is talking about bit quality, mostly the answer will be right. If it is talking about quantity, not only all, I'll give you one more question. In this question, tell me, statement 1, is it quality or quantity? Statement 1. Statement 1 is quality or quantity. They may release lethal quantities of carbon monoxide, lethal quantity. For example, if I have doubt, what I'll do is I'll remove the keyword. If I remove the keyword, is it very plain? They may release carbon monoxide. They may release carbon monoxide. It's a very plain. But if I add this lethal quantities, is it talking about quantity? So when it is talking about quantity, there are chances mostly that that statement could be possibly wrong or possibly not plain. This is how you address all in the exam. Again, this is not that easy to understand also. I'll give you some examples in the classes. Okay, more examples. See, every day what we'll do is we'll try to understand all these techniques. Okay, like one day we'll only focus on some facts. One day we'll focus on these extremes. One day we'll focus on this all. So these type of things we'll do. And one day we'll focus only on observations. Okay. So in the coming slides, I'll discuss observations as well. Anyways, here also tell me, is there any negative connotation statement? See, first of all, Chief of Defense Staff, what is the basic aim of this person? Tell me. Can you give me some plain words? Plain words. Chief of Defense Staff, give me some plain words. Because, see, exact answer you do not know. Coordination, very good. Very good. Coordination. Advice, very good. These are plain keywords, right? Now tell me which is a negative keyword here. Simply think like examiner. I told you, they'll just give you opposite thinking. If you identify opposite thinking, many questions you can easily eliminate in the exam. Okay, you can eliminate and you can get the answer in the exam. So opposite statement is command. Very good, very good. Opposite keyword is basically command. Okay. So tell me, what is the possible answer of this question? Yes, you can consider like under the control. Under the control, it is almost similar like that negative keyword. Okay. So what is the possible answer? Definitely the possible answer will be 1 and 3 in the question. See, again, 2024 questions, they are definitely following the pattern of the PYQs. Okay, you basically you need to practice a lot. Simple. So in this question also, this is a 2024 question. First of all, is it a very factual question? It's definitely a very factual question. If you do not know content, it's very difficult to answer. Okay, because here some place is given. Okay, joint is given. According to PYQs, which keyword I gave you, and I said after that if there are any facts, it will be mostly wrong. Okay, I'll give you a question also. Before that, this question I discussed last year. So tell me here, which statement is definitely wrong in this? This is a UPSC PYQ. I think asked in 2021, I think, 2021. Which statement could be possibly not plain? So basically now what we are understanding is these keywords followed by pure institutions or facts, okay, mostly will be wrong. And one more thing, single organization and multiple organizations, which has more priority of elimination? Single organization is here, RBI, whereas here multiple organizations is there, RBI and Bombay Stock Exchange. Remember, multiple organizations will have more priority for elimination. Again, in the class, we will see different type of questions, like different UPSC PYQs only, where multiple organizations is more wrong than single organization. That also I will be teaching you there. Anyways, there are keywords such as jointly, by, promoted, supported, and give me some keywords, coordinated by. All those keywords will be there, generally followed by any institution, more or less will be wrong. Okay, so this also we will see in the classes. So here tell me, which will have more priority? Which statement will have more priority for elimination? Definitely one will have more priority for elimination rather than others. See, I'm not saying these are facts. Definitely this could be a fact, this could be a fact. Okay, this is a plain statement, fine. But priority of elimination goes to joint keyword, because according to PYQs, you have to see which has more priority for elimination. Okay, so if you do not know priority, again, it will be very difficult for you to understand which statement to eliminate in the exam. Again, here also same thing. Last year I taught you this technique as well. One of the is generally plain. I told you already. One of the is generally plain. Basically because it is mostly a middle statement. Mostly a middle statement. But what is the exception? In the last year class also we discussed this. What is the exception? One of the followed by what? Followed by a very factual numerical or institutions. Okay, mostly they could be wrong. Now tell me which statement is possibly wrong here. Where is one of the being followed by institution? Yes, one of the agencies followed by United Nations. Definitely it will be wrong. Okay, this is nothing new. I taught this in the last year as well. Okay, one is definitely wrong. And initiatives, like it takes some initiatives and all, generally can be considered initiatives as plain. First of all, is it a broad organization? Can I say it's a very broad organization? World Toilet Organization? Okay. In the coming slides, I'll give you one observation, not now. For this, you just understand one of the, that's more than enough. In the coming slides, I'll give you one very good observation regarding broad and narrow. Okay, so please wait. That observation will come. So at that time, I'll discuss, okay, regarding that question. Okay, now coming to next most important numerical questions. So some numerical questions come in the exam every year. I'll teach you third statement. Just wait, wait for 5 minutes. Before that, basic numerical and factual numerical. So there is a concept called basic numerical and factual numerical. So to understand numericals in the exam, you just have to understand a concept called basic numerical and a concept called factual numerical. I'll give you very good examples. For example, let us say this question was asked in 2018. So in this, there are given two numericals. One is 18 years or above, another is 1600 calories. So tell me, generally, which is a basic numerical? Means basic is nothing but, let us say, which is used in a lot of other schemes, or that number is commonly visible in most of the other initiatives. Okay. So in 1600 calories and 18 years, which could be possibly basic, which is used in different other schemes or initiatives also. In 18 and 1600. In 18 and 1600. Yes, very good. Mostly 18 is considered as basic because 18 is generally used in a lot of schemes in India. 18 as a age criteria. Whereas 1600 calories, tell me, is it basic or is it factual? So it could be 1600, it could be 1800, it could be 2000, it could be 2100. Chances are there. Okay. So relatively, again, see, always look for relative. Directly don't go and say this one. Relatively, when two numericals are there, the only thing in the exam you have to do is you have to identify which is factual and which is basic. That is the purpose in the exam. Now tell me, in this also tell me, is 21 basic or is factual? So all the schemes generally I told you, which age is generally used? Is 21 basic or factual? 21 definitely becomes factual because why? What is the reason? Because 21 as such is not used in any other schemes. What is used generally in such type of schemes? 18 is used. This I taught you in the last classes, in the previous year classes also. Exactly this question I taught you, if you remember. Some of the students have attended last year also. So exactly this question we discussed in the class as well. Now tell me, this is a 2024 question. Tell me 21 and 3000. Okay, both are numericals. Both are numericals. Definitely both are numericals. Now tell me, 21 is factual or basic, which is relatively factual and which is relatively basic. So relatively, definitely 21 will be factual numerical because simply we have seen in PYQs also, what is the basic numerical? It has to be actually 18 rather than 21. So simply you can eliminate 1 and you can get to the answer. So tell me, once you eliminate 1, you have 2 and 3. What will you do with 3? What will you do with 3? 3 also is a numerical. Will you eliminate or not? This comes under again observation mindset. I'll tell you that. Okay. So what observation mindset related to numericals? See, till here we are discussing everything logically. Okay, what happens, why certain things are wrong, why certain things are right, why certain statements are plain, why certain statements are not plain. All these things we have seen. Okay. Now coming to observation mindset, there is something called observation mindset, and from here, whatever I'm saying will be based on observation of the PYQs. Okay. See, they may not look a bit logical. I'll accept that, but again, you need different tools to answer the questions. Okay. You need different tools to answer the question. So here, what is the observation? One important observation about numericals is, remember, whenever they give you two numericals, more or less the observation is always one may be right and one may be wrong. Again, see, there is no logic to this. Don't ask me what is the logic for this. It is basically just an observation and definitely it will work. You can check PYQs. After today's class, you can go and check all the PYQs. Wherever there are two numericals, more or less one will be right, other will be wrong. Okay. So for example, here 21, we know that this is mostly factual. Then will you select 3000? One right, one wrong. This is called one right, one wrong principle. So in the classes, I'll be taking this word one right, one wrong lot of times. Okay, because I'll teach you a lot of things based on observations. Based on observations, how to go with one right, one wrong, and exactly in which question you have to go with one right, one wrong also. Slowly, I'll discuss in the classes. Okay. So anyways, so that is the purpose of this teaching you. So one you just eliminate. Okay. Because 21 simply you can eliminate here. One you can eliminate. And now tell me, will you select 3? Yes, you have to select 3. Simple. Now I told you I'll discuss one more question also, right? What was that question? I said I'll be discussing the third statement. Okay. It's a broad and narrow statement. Okay. I'll discuss that in the coming slides. Same thing here also. Tell me, can you apply one right, one wrong in this question? Can you apply one right, one wrong? 18 is given, 1600 is given. Definitely you have to apply one right, one wrong. What is that? 18 could be right and 1600 could be wrong. One right, one wrong. So this principle I'll be teaching you in the class. Okay, one right, one wrong principle. Not only in this, one right, one wrong principle works in lot of questions that different examples are there that we'll see in the class. What are the best options for certain questions? This also you need to learn. What are the best options in certain questions? Because sometimes we are blind in the exam. Okay, there are certain options. Only few 50-50 we know. Other things we are unable to decide. So this also sometimes will help you in the exam a lot. You just have to know which could be the possible best option in the exam. Again, this is completely based on observation. This will have no logic. Okay, that is the reason I don't include them in the logic mindset. I include them in the observation mindset. Okay. So for example, this question was asked in I think 2020, and most of the institutes have given answer as all in this question. Okay. But again, based on observation mindset, see, I'm not saying I know exact the UPSC answer or something. UPSC answer could be all also in this question. Okay. But that is not important for you. Why? You are in the exam, you don't have access to internet. Is it true or not? See, after the exam, everyone has access to internet. They'll search the question, they'll give you the answer, everything they'll do. But simple, in the exam, you don't have access to anything. You just have your mindset to answer the question. So based on that, I'm saying observations help a lot in the exam, especially in that situation, that 50-50 situation. So here, what is always my observation is history questions, very factual questions. Can the answer be all? First of all, simple statement. Very factual questions. First of all, can the answer be all in the exam? Very factual questions. Simply remember, very factual questions, answer will not be all in the exam. You take any very factual question, generally the answer will not be all. Again, see, what I'm saying is probability. So it will work 90% of the times. Definitely it will work 90%. 10%, see, chances are always are there. But 10% is not important. 90% is what is important, because you don't have to get 200 in the exam. Okay. You don't have to get 200 in the exam. You just have to get more than 100. Okay. So for more than 100, all this mindset will definitely work in the exam. So tell me here, which two options can I easily club? Which two options related? Which two options are easily related? Yes, age of consent and conjugal rights. Both are related to which topic? They're related to marriage. Whereas education is completely a different topic. So what is the most possible answer of this question? Most possible answer will be definitely 2 and 3 and not 1, 2, 3. So before UPSC giving the key itself, we analyzed in this way, and yes, more or less, yes, luckily it has been true as well. Okay. So it's better to depend on observations rather than just after the exam. If you analyze things and all, it will not work for you in the exam. Okay. The same thing I told you last year in this, students have applied in this, because more or less most of the students know which option here. Which option do you know mostly? I think Shaukya, I think most of the students are clear. Some students even know Tadgata also. Fine. Even if you know Shaukya also, I can tell you which is the best possible answer in this question. Will you go with 2, 3 or will you go with 1, 2, 3? It's a history question. Observation in history questions is simple. Answer may not be all. Answer may not be all because it's a factual question, history questions. It will very easy to include anything in this question. Okay. So definitely they are called basically narrow questions. So in the coming slide, I'll be teaching you what are narrow, what are broad as well. So simply, even if you do not know Naya Putta, simply go with 2, 3, but not with 1, 2, 3 in the exam. Yes. Now this also is a controversy question. No one knows clear answer of this question till now. Most of the students again are giving answer as 1, 2, 3. Some students, yes, some institutes have given a different answer. But now you tell me, first of all, is it a factual question? I don't know the UPSC answer. UPSC answer could be 1, 2, 3, or UPSC answer could be anything. But if I am in the exam, what will I answer this question? Is it a factual question? Economy. Economy is not science and tech. So obviously economy topic itself is kind of factual. Okay. So easily they can change the answer in the exam. I think 2 and 3 more or less everyone knows what is 2 and 3. Mostly most of the students know what is 2 and 3. Fine. I am not dealing with 2 and 3. I want to deal with statement 1. Once you know 2 and 3, you have 50-50 issue in this question. What is the best possible answer? 1, 2, 3 or 2 and 3? What is the best possible answer in this question? 1, 2, 3 or 2 and 3? Just go with 2 and 3. Simply one reason is, first of all, this is a very static question. Okay. And remember, this also, it says that non-bank financial companies, first of all, remember, non-bank financial companies is a very, very broad category. It's not a simple category. It's a very broad category. And you are saying that the broad category has access to liquid adjustment facility. Does it make sense? It's very broad, whereas the statement liquidity adjustment facility basically is kind of broad or kind of bit narrow. Understand that. That's it. Based on that, you try to answer the questions. When you know that liquidity adjustment facility is kind of narrow, will you go with a broad option like NBFCs? Definitely no. So if you understand this broad and narrow options, lot of statements you can understand in the exam, and that 50-50 issue you can solve in the exam. This also we will be teaching you in the class. Okay. So simply I'll definitely not go with 2 and 3. One reason is, first of all, liquidity adjustment facilities as such not a broad facility or something. And anyways, NBFC is kind of broad. Lot of things come under NBFC. That is the reason I'm not going with this answer. And remember, I don't know what is UPSC answer, but I'll stick to this explanation. Because once we have that mindset, we follow mindset all through the questions. We do not change the mindset based on UPSC answers. You cannot do that. You have to have that mindset. Okay. So sometimes you may go wrong in the exam. Don't worry. 1 or 2 questions you will go wrong, but most of the other things you will be right in the exam. Okay. Now coming to this same thing. Now I explained that broad and narrow. Not similar statements. See, 2 and 3, there is no doubt. Don't worry about 2 and 3. I think it's a basic explanation. So based on that, you can answer. So now coming to in a broad connotation question, can we select narrow options? In broad connotation questions, can we select narrow options? I'll explain this with one simple example. World Toilet Organization. I told you I'll refer to this question again. World Toilet Organization. Is it a broad organization? World, first of all, world keyword is there. Toilet organization is there. Definitely, it is a broad organization. Now tell me, when it is broad, will the main function be broad? Will the main function be broad? Now tell me, whenever you see keywords like main, particularly, significantly, do not directly eliminate them. Okay, that is not important. Do not directly eliminate them. You just have to do one thing in the exam. Once you see particularly keyword, mainly keyword, significantly keyword, just try to see what is the question and what is the statement given. Primarily, mainly, significantly, whatever they give you, just underline that and see the statement is broad or narrow with respect to the question. So now word toilet organization is a very broad organization, you only said. So the main function should be broad. So generally tell me, what should be the main function of such organizations? It's a toilet organization, right? So generally what does it, toilet goes with? Word? Sanitation, very good. Any other word? Cleanliness, sanitation. Hygiene, very good. Hygiene. Okay, so these should be the main focus, right? Now tell me, the main focus is granting funds. Now tell me, the question is broad and the main focus is broad or narrow? When the question is broad, but the main focus is broad or narrow. Funding. Funding is narrow or broad? Main focus. Main focus means main objective. Main objective, I'm saying. Yes, sir. See, though it is a specific organization like toilet, what will be the main objective? Tell me for such organization. Simple. Think in a simple terms. You don't have to go and think in a very overthinking way. Not required. Simply think. Main organization is the World Toilet Organization. What it will do? It will create awareness. Very good. Main awareness could be there. Cleanliness promotion. Very good. These type of things should be our objectives, right? Whereas financing, funding definitely will not be main function. For example, let us say I will remove main and I will remove focus. Now tell me what will happen to the statement. I'll remove main and I will remove focus. The organization gives funding. Plain or not plain? Definitely it will become plain. Okay, no issue. See, someone saying that some organization is giving funding, nothing wrong in that. Okay, but if I say main focus, then definitely it will become narrow. This is what you need to understand in the questions. And this concept is very, 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 very important in the exam. A lot of 50-50 questions which you are going wrong, you can address through these things. Okay. So when the question is broad, the function cannot be narrow. When the question is broad, the function cannot be narrow. Okay. And one more thing, for example, if I give an organization which has keyword called facility, which has a keyword called facility. No, toilets is not specific. See, you're still not understanding. Toilet, yes, sir, fine. It is an organization which is specific to toilet organization. But aim, I am saying, what will be the aim of such organizations? For example, let us say RBI is there. RBI is a very specific organization. Okay, it's a very specific organization for, let us say. But tell me, what will be the objective of that RBI? Don't you think it has very broad words? Promote credit. Functions are always broad. Very good. Main functions. Again, remember, main functions are broad. Main functions. Main functions are always broad of any organization. Simple. That is the thinking you require in the exam. Fine. Now coming to facility. Any facility, remember, the main focus of any facility will be what? For example, let us say global environmental facility is there. Okay. Or let us say forest carbon facility is there. The word facility always goes with what? Funding. Remember, the word facility always goes with funding. Okay. So the main focus of facility organizations will be what? The main focus will be always funding. Okay. So that is the only difference. So if they give you facility, then maybe the main focus will be funding. But rest of the organizations, remember, most of the organizations, this type of like toilet organizations or this type of asset, it will not be funding. Okay. Now coming to broad and narrow questions. Just by understanding broad and narrow questions, a lot of 2024 questions could be answered in the exam. At least you can understand in that direction. Okay. For example, distributed energy resources. Is it a broad question? Distributed energy resources. Definitely, it is a broad question. You can go with very broad options. If broad options are also broad, mostly the answer will be all. So very simple thinking is required in broad questions. Okay? No overthinking is required. Unless in this type of questions, only one technique examiner uses to trick the students. That one technique is called opposite. Opposite. If you find any very opposite key option, then you can eliminate that option. For example, I'll give you one very good example of 2023. Hydrofluorocarbons has been asked in the exam. Hydrofluorocarbons, is it more air pollutant? Hydrofluorocarbons, is it air pollutant? Yes, more or less it is a air pollutant. Now in the exam, they gave you 1, 2, 3, 4. They gave you mostly air related options here, and then there will be only one water related option here. Okay, so when opposites are given, then only you have to eliminate. So here you can see as such there is no opposite, then mostly the answer will be all. Again, this also I will be teaching you in the class. So where exactly opposites are given in the broad questions. Okay, fine. Now coming to this poisonous species. For example, can we say, do you consider this question as broad or narrow? First of all, in the exam. In the exam, do you consider this question as broad or narrow? Okay, if you have doubt in the exam, remember, I'll give you one simple logic in these questions. If you have doubt that butterflies are not poisonous, okay, now I will give you a statement. You only tell me that statement is right or wrong. There are no poisonous species in butterflies. There are no poisonous species in butterflies. For example, this is not how the question is asked in the exam. Let us say this is how the question is asked in the exam. What will you do with this statement? There are no poisonous species in butterflies. Might be, very good. Can I say might be? Chances are there. Now, do you see how your mindset is changing? So sometimes in the exam, just do this thing when you have doubt in the exam. Okay, if you have doubt in the exam that 50-50 issue is there, butterflies are there or not, you just change the statements into this thing and see what you will do if it is given in the statement format. If it is given in the statement format, definitely you will think that there might be 1 or 2 butterflies which could be poisonous. So this, if you do, definitely you'll understand this is actually a broad question rather than a narrow question. So this exercise also in the class we will try to do with certain questions. Okay. And remember, native is a positive keyword or negative keyword? Native is a narrow keyword or broad keyword? Okay. Native is definitely a narrow keyword. Okay. And here you cannot apply the same thing because this is completely factual. Okay. It's factual, means it can be or it cannot be. That's it. Okay. So, but here it is not factual. It comes under kind of middle statement. Possibility is there. Okay. Here as such it is not there. Definitely it is a broad or narrow question. Definitely 200% it is a narrow question. Simple. Based on that, you try to address. Red sanders, I think already it's a PYQ. Okay. Then papaya and cashew is given. Accordingly, yes, some content may be required, but I'm just telling you how to approach a question. How to approach a question. Why some questions are broad, why some questions are narrow. Apart from this thing, there is something called misleading words. Okay, misleading. Never see when frog is given in UPSC, definitely will not be frog. When fox is given in UPSC, definitely will not be fox. This is again based on observation. You can check all your PYQs. When they are giving you main animal as a word, definitely it will not be that word. Okay, so it is not a frog. Maybe you can think about hopper. Hopper means what? Hopper, like you can give me some examples of hopper. Grasshopper, very good. Hopper, so mostly it could be insect. Simply in that way also you can answer. Again here fox is there. If this is not a fox, can I say this statement is misleading? Chances are very high that if it is not a fox, this statement could be very misleading. And accordingly, you try to answer the questions. So in this way, there are certain observations and some unique observations also we will see. So here, one of the unique observation is, remember, think something about human mindset, examiner mindset. I am saying that for us, for our human mindset, can I say that it is very difficult to create something very unique options? Is it very difficult for human mindset to create very unique options? For example, I'll give you a very simple example. Sustainable development. Is it an easy word to use by the examiner? Sustainable development. Okay. Ecotourism. Easy word to use. So these type of words will be very easy. But sometimes what happens in the question, something very odd will be there. That odd could be most possibly your answer, because it is not easy for examiner to create that options with that particular question. For example, this question has been asked in 2024. Pumped storage hydropower has been given. Here irrigation is given. Here irrigation is given. Here rainwater is given. Tell me, if the answer is irrigation or rainwater, will the C option be here? First of all, if the answer is irrigation, do you really think C option will be here, or C option also should be something related to water or irrigation? Can I say that? If answer is really irrigation, definitely human mind will think in that way, that C option also, they will give you something as irrigation. But now tell me, suddenly what is this C doing here, which is completely different, called energy storage, and tell me what will be the most possible answer of this question. So this mindset, again, it's not easy. It is basically called find the odd one out. And find the odd one out also, you have to think what exactly it is doing there. Whereas if the answer is irrigation, mostly the C statement also will be on irrigation. Don't worry about that. Okay. So suddenly if they give you something very odd one out, mostly that one odd one out could be your answer. Again, this I'll give you a lot of examples in the classes, so you'll be able to identify. Okay. Don't worry about that. And here also tell me same thing. If the answer is carbon footprint, what is this option doing in the particular question? If the answer is carbon footprint, again, what is this option doing? Again, if the answer is this carbon emission, what is this option doing? So this option is, remember, it's a very, very, very unique option saying building operations. For example, let us say, if the answer is carbon footprint, tell me what will be here basically, because see, these are very broad options. So tell me here what would be the possible option? Assessing carbon footprint of, it could be any other very broad thing, okay, rather than building operation. So something very unique or odd one out is there. It is very difficult for human mindset to create that very unique or odd options. Then possibly that could be your answer. Then rest of the observations are there saying that mostly A could be the answer of these type of questions. That anyways is there. That will be the last resort. That observation also I will tell you in the class. Okay. Yeah, carbon footprint is there. That is not an issue. Building operations. Remember, see, building is a very unique word. Building. Okay. Have you seen that in any PYQs? Such options? Okay. So very unique word. What it is doing in the broad words. So if the answer is broad like other options, I am saying that statement 1 also will be broad. Can I say that? If the answer is 4, if the answer is 3, if the answer is 2, statement 1 also will be more or less broad. It will not talk about a particular building operation. Simple. This is how you need to understand. In the same way here also. If the answer is irrigation, if the answer is what rainwater, or if the answer is again lift irrigation, definitely C option also will be mostly talking about something very close rather than very odd option. So completely odd one out, which it's not easily to comprehend by UPSC examiner, that could be possible answer. Again, a lot of examples are required. Okay, so that we'll discuss. Okay. Now, what are extra options? This also I'll teach you. Like every time UPSC uses some extra options. Like one of the extra options is like Johannesburg Summit, for example, Rio Plus 20 is there. In Rio Plus 20, and in Johannesburg Summit, which could be possibly an extra option? Just like for extra examiner is trying to use the option. Which is that option? Yes, definitely it could be Johannesburg, because Johannesburg Summit as such may not be that important. Okay, Johannesburg may not be that important. Rio is more important than Johannesburg. For example, I will say 1992 Summit is more important, and also 2012 Summit is also more important because lot of initiatives have been taken in this type of thing. So these are called some extra options. For example, let us say in PYQ's history also, there are some extra options like always examiner uses something like merchant guilds. Okay, merchant guilds is more or less always an extra option. And in science and tech also, cosmetics. Cosmetics is more or less an extra option. Again, these are all observations I'll teach you in the class. Okay. Now, finally, now we cannot discuss everything in the class. So, a lot of things I'll be discussing in the classes. So, in this class, we'll not be able to discuss everything. So, again, there are some subcategory statements, there are interchange statements, there are two variable statements, legally binding. It's a very important question this year. This year, I'm expecting that one question will come, and in that question, legally binding will be there. So, you have to know how to address legally binding. So, that also I'll be teaching you in the class. It's a very simple concept. Okay, simple, like for example, I'll just give you one important aspect for 2025. So in 2025, let us say mostly UN Convention on Cyber Crimes may come in the exam. Okay, UN Convention on Cyber Crimes. And I am expecting that even the statement also we can guess based on PYQs. Even statement also we can guess in the PYQs. Mostly one of the statement will say that it is legally binding. First legally binding convention. So tell me, is it a right statement, plain statement, or not plain statement? First legally binding. First legally binding. Is it a plain statement or not plain statement? UN Cybercrime Convention. UN Convention on Cybercrime. Definitely it is plain. 200% it is plain. Why? Why it is plain? Simply remember, conventions, agreements, and treaties. Conventions, agreements, and treaties are all binding. Remember. Okay. You don't have to know what is that convention or what is that agreement or what is that treaty. Simply remember, UN convention they have given. Yes, most of your conventions are binding. So I'm just saying in the current affairs, there is UN Convention on Cybercrime, which is going to be asked in this year, 2025. So they will ask you, is it legally binding or not? Remember, it's a convention, then definitely don't worry. It is first or whatever, it is definitely plain. In the same 2025, there is one more current affairs called Global Compact. Last time migration they asked, right? Again, this year there is something new called Global Compact. Now tell me, in Global Compact, if I ask same thing legally binding, now tell me, will it be binding or not binding? Global Compacts. Global Compacts. Global Compacts, remember, they are not binding. They are not binding. Pacts, global compacts are not binding. Alliances are not binding. Partnerships are not binding. What about declarations? Tell me. What about declarations? Are they binding? Generally, declarations. Declarations are also not binding. So this concept also I will be teaching you in the class. This is a very simple concept. 2 marks easily you can gain in the exam without much knowledge of the question. Okay. So apart from that, learn priority. Priority is very, 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 very important. Without priority, protocol you cannot say. Some protocols are binding. Again, see, protocol to a convention. Okay. Protocol to a convention is there, then yes, maybe it is binding. Okay? It depends. So protocol for what? Okay. So next, application restriction statements. This also I did not teach you today. This I'll teach you in the class. It's a very important concept. Application restriction statements are mostly plain or not plain. Global compact, I said, right? Pact. Pacts are not binding. Okay. Application restriction statements. Application restriction statements are mostly not plain. I'll teach you this in the class, not today. Okay, next, how to handle most, major, maximum, how to handle numerical statements. Again, we'll also provide you areas of focus. So now I told you, right, cybercrimes question mostly will come in the exam. So in this way, I'll tell you some important aspects for 2025 as well in the last class. And then there is one right, one wrong concept. This also I'll teach you in the class. Then there is extra options, especially for history. And then many more logical and observation based techniques are there, which we will discuss in the classes. So for now, this is the idea I have given. What basically these classes will be there. Okay, so they will be definitely unique and definitely going to help you, and has already helped a lot of students in the previous exams. Okay, so basically the course schedule is, yeah, I'll explain that in the class. Okay, 5 days classes will be there. From Wednesday it will start. Okay. And after the classes, we will provide access to tests online. I'll give you some 50 questions each, and you have to practice whatever these techniques we are teaching you. You have to practice them on those tests after the classes, not in between the classes. After the classes, we will be providing you. Okay. And class timings will be 11 a.m. 11 a.m. in the morning. Okay. And no recording will be provided if you miss the class. Simple, no recording. Okay. There is no exception to this. No recording will be provided if you miss the class. You have to attend 11 a.m. will be the classes. Duration of the class will be 1.5 to 2 hours. That's it. Okay. Every class will be more, maybe 1.5 or maybe 2 hours, not more than that. Okay. So that's it. Okay, one thing I want to share with you, regarding, I told you areas of focus, right? I'll give you one very important topic to read today. You can go through this topic. This is called areas of focus, and this is one of the source from where questions are asked. Just type RBI and government securities in Google. Okay, simply type RBI and government securities FAQs. Okay, so the FAQs which you see, basically these are the FAQs, right? Every year, one question is definitely asked from, sorry, not this one, yeah. Okay, every year, one question is asked from this particular page. Can you tell me 2024 what question was asked regarding money market? What is the question asked regarding money market? CBLO. Okay, let us search CBLO in this. Is CBLO there in this? Okay, last year also I said the same thing. This one page, every year, 2 marks will come in the exam. So do not waste your time. Go and read this one page. It will take not more than 2 or 3 hours. One question in 2025 also is guaranteed. Okay. So in this way, some of the things I will be telling you on the last day, okay, of the class, some important areas of focus, like what you need to focus on. So all these things basically we do in our mentorship classes and in our current affairs classes and all. So already those classes are going on. So if you are interested in them also, you can definitely talk to me or Bright Sir. Okay, now coming to registration part, you can just visit Umbrella Academy, or you can just type Umbrella IS Academy on Google. You will get the website. In that you will see the course. Okay, I'll just open that for you. Yes, you can just type on elimination techniques. Okay, you can see here, you can just type on this, then you will see the course, you can enroll. So the everyone, yeah, price you have asked, right? It's 3,000. It's a minimum price. Okay, but a lot of things you will learn from the classes. Okay, a lot of things, I'm not just teaching you some keywords or something. This mindset is going to help you a lot in other exams as well. So in TSPSC also it will help, APPS also it will help, UPSC. In the coming, we may launch even for Group 1 as well, like TSPSC, some of the test series and all we will launch for the upcoming notification. In that also, we will try to help you with this type of mindsets. Okay. And yeah, CSAT also is there. CSAT Bright Sir will be taking. If you have any doubt in CSAT, you can ask Bright Sir. So Bright Sir number is also there on the website. You can so here also I'll show you Bright Sir's number. Anyways, these are the toppers. You can go through our testimonials in the YouTube as well. So they have talked about these courses as well. So that's it. I think for today. And if you're interested, we'll see you on Wednesday. And yes, you all will be added in a Telegram group. Okay, and I'll be guiding you there till your prelims. Me and Bright Sir will be there. We'll be guiding you till prelims. So you can note down Bright Sir number as well. So Bright Sir and me basically take all the classes. So the prelims mentorship also, we both basically design the entire classes on this direction. Like what are the areas of focus, from where to teach. Just now I showed you RBI website, right? Again, we both go through that websites. We see what type of question can come in 2025. All those things will be part of mentorship classes. But in elimination classes, yeah, we'll focus mostly on elimination itself. Okay. And any other, if you have any interest, yes, you can directly like note down this number or this number, or even in Telegram also you can message. This are Telegram. This is our Telegram number as well. 782. You can message me here. Okay. What will be the content? Till now I taught you that one, right?